Namaskar, good morning. I am Milind Pan Patil, Director, National Water Academy, Central Water Commission, Pune. Uh, on behalf of Ministry of Jal Shakti, National Water Academy, Pune, I welcome all participants. Today we have joined in this webinar session on World Water Day 2026. The topic of webinar session is water conservation and management. Respected Shri D.H. Chaskar Sir, Chief Engineer and Head of National Water Academy, all participants will join in this webinar across the country on the topic of water conservation and management. Actually, National Water Academy, Central Water Commission, Pune is a premier technical organization in the field of water resources development and management in the country and its neighboring country. National Water Academy, Central Water Commission, Pune imparts training to working officials from the central state government as well as international participants from the neighboring countries. Before start this session, I will request our Chief Engineer and Head of National Water Academy, Shri D.H. Chaskar Sir. He will present his inaugural address. Sir.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Milinji. This particular webinar is a special webinar for National Water Academy. We are conducting this webinar as our one of the activity in the context of World Water Day. Everybody knows that 22nd of March every year is celebrated all across the world as a World Water Day. And every year there is some specific theme which is a focus of the activities. We know that there are many international days and we celebrate these days as occasions to educate the public on issues of concern, to mobilize political will and resources to address the global problems, and also to celebrate and reinforce achievements for the humanity. And what can be a better subject than the water itself? We know that World Water Day was established since 1982 by the United Nations resolution. But before that, from 1986, in India, we had started conducting World Water Resources Day. Not World, but Water Resources Day. And it is a matter of pride for all of us that this World Water Day, which was instituted by United Nations since 1992, was basically based on an effort by an Indian expert in water resources sector, that is Shri Madhavrao Chitale, who was the former chairman of Central Water Commission, former secretary of Ministry of Water Resources. And since 1992, United Nations have been celebrating World Water Day on various themes. And this year's theme is water and gender, and is a really very pertinent and very important theme. Why there is a connection between water and gender? Basically because if you see the scenario of water resources all across the world, more than 1 billion women, that means more than quarter of all women, lack access to safely managed drinking water services. 1.8 billion people do not have drinking water on their premises, and you know that when the water is not available on the premises, it is the woman who has to go out and fetch the water. So 2 out of 3 households across the world who do not have water services on their premises, they have to fetch water. They are responsible for collection of water. As per the data available in 53 countries, women and girls spend 250 million hours per day on water collection. I'm sure many of you who come from the rural background must be knowing that in rural India also, it is the duty of the woman to collect the water, to fetch the water, to manage the water. And in doing so, they spend so much of their energy, their effort, their time, their safety, their health. They also are responsible for treating the household people who otherwise become sick due to unsafe water, due to contamination of water. And moreover, as we see in our rural areas also, that women are not normally involved in the decision making about the water resources, about the water related issues, and that's why this particular theme is very, very crucial, because even though water crisis affects all, it affects very severely for the woman, and unless we factor in them, unless we you know uh, take them into account for decision making, or for whenever we are planning any water resources kind of initiatives, programs, schemes, it's very important that we take into account their aspects also. And this particular webinar, wherein we have a very special uh, you know a speaker. The today's speaker has a distinction of coordinating with the community, coordinating at a local level under various schemes, in association with the local authorities, and doing a very remarkable work in water conservation and management. So this particular lecture is in line with the theme of our today's session, that how we can leverage the local authorities and various schemes of government of India in finding solutions to the issues of water conservation and management, and how we can involve women in all those efforts. So with these words, I once again welcome all the participants for this very interesting webinar, and I request Shri Milinji to take over and take the agenda forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words on this special occasion. Our today's speaker, Shri Pratham Agrawal. Before handing over the session to him, I will first briefly introduce to him. Pratham Agrawal, currently posted as a Deputy Chief Engineer in Bhusawal Central Railway. Pratham Agrawal and Indian Railway Service of Engineering Officers of UPSC Engineering Services batch of 2013. Prior to his assignment, he have worked as an assistant divisional engineer in Vijayawada division of South Central Railway, then as an executive engineer construction in Ahmednagar Bid Parli new line project, then divisional engineer in Solapur division, and thereafter as a senior divisional engineer in Nagpur division. Throughout the course of his posting, he have been able to coordinate with the local communities and create sustainable water conservation model. He have been closely working with Ministry of Rural Development for utilizing the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme for water conservation activities. In addition to the above, he have delivered lectures in multiple institutes of regional and national importance, as well as have published journals in international and national magazines. Today we are celebrating World Water Day in 2026. Generally we celebrating World Water Day on 22nd March. Uh, in 2026 shines a global spotlight on deep-rooted connection between the water management and social equality. This year's themes is an water and gender, where water flows, equity grows, calls for transformation shift in how we govern our most precious resources. The core focus on this year's theme is water and gender. While the global water crisis affects everyone, it does not affect everyone equally. According to United Nations World Water Development Report 2026, titled Water for All People, Equal Rights and Opportunities, women and girls often bear the heaviest burden of the water scarcity. The burden of collection in many regions, women and girls spend collective billions of hours each year fetching water, which often limit their access to education and economic opportunities. Then health and dignity, lack of safe water and sanitation, that is wash, disproportionately impacts maternal health and other issues. Then there is a leadership gap. Despite being the primary managers of household water, women remain significantly underrepresented in local water committee and high level policy making levels. Then what are the keys? If we see the key objectives for 2026, the 2026 campaign advocates for a rights-based approach to water governance, and this involve inclusive leadership, ensuring women have an equal voice and decision-making power in designing water infrastructure and policies. Then climate resilience, building water systems that can withstand climate shocks like drought and floods while meeting the specific needs of vulnerable population. Then sustainable development goals, that is SDG 6, accelerating progress towards ensuring safe water and sanitation for all by 2030, recognizing that the gender equality SDG 5 is a prerequisite for the success. Then global initiatives and local actions are very important. Across the globe, government and organizations are hosting events to make the day. In India, the Ministry of Jal Shakti is holding World Water Day conclave in New Delhi, focusing on industry for water to promote water use efficiency and recycling. Similarly, in UNESCO, the official launch of the World Water Development Report highlights critical data gap and the need for gender disaggregative water data. And similarly, if we see the technological shift, a focus on AI and IoT enabled smart monitoring system is being promoted to help industries transition from water users to water stewards. Then if we see how to involve our involvement for the in World Water Day for successfully implementing the theme of this year, explore the UN water fact sheets on how water assess impact in gender parity. Then how we share our experience, use the hashtag World Water Day to raise awareness about the inclusive water governance. And audit act will be the audit your own water footprint from household conservation to supporting community-led water projects. Every drop saved contributes to more equitable future. Now I request our today's speaker, Shri Pratham Agrawal, please kind your session, please. Pratham.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the warm welcome, and particularly to Milind sir and to Chet sir for giving me a platform to voice opinions on a subject which I deeply feel about. First of all, good morning to all of you. I will briefly introduce myself. I am Pratham Agrawal, an IRSE officer of 2013 batch, and I'm currently posted as Deputy Chief Engineer in Central Railway, Bhusawal. A special warm welcome to Dr. YP Singh sir, who has been gracious enough to join this webinar. He is an IRSE 1979 batch officer. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And
thank you very much, Pratham.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I'll be moving on to my presentation. Yes. Now looking back at what I have done, I realized that I was actually hardwired to save. My obsession for saving water and tree plantation goes right to my childhood. So whenever I look back at whatever works I have been able to do in these in this career of small career of mine, I would basically attribute it to my obsession only. So with every posting, I had got some opportunities and I've been able to encash upon those opportunities. So the first posting which I will be talking about is my posting as an assistant scale officer. Right after writing the exam and joining the services, I was posted as assistant scale officer in the Vijayawada division of South Central Railway. And as soon as I joined, I was learning my job, because this was the first time I had joined railway service, and I got to know that being an assistant scale officer, I was actually in charge of the maintenance of track, but more importantly, I was also looking after the asset of Indian Railways, which comprised of buildings and all the structures which we had in my subdivision. I started to inspect all those structures and I realized there was a lot of potential of rooftop rainwater harvesting. So I started to gather all my supervisory staff and had an intense discussion on how to make it possible. Sooner or later, the things started to work out, and finally, I realized that there were a lot of released syntax tank and plastic tanks which were just discarded and kept in these stores for auction and for just sale. So we started to gather those. We cleaned the rooftops of all the 140 houses which were there in my jurisdiction, connected those rooftop with the pipes, and thereby connected them to the syntax tanks, and those syntax tanks were buried inside the ground or the courtyard of those households. And within a short span of 3 months, with practically no cost to Indian Railways, we managed to commission all the rooftop rainwater harvesting in the 140 houses in a mere span of 3 months. So this was my first tryst with conservation in a position of authority without spending any money. So this gave me a lot of impetus to take things forward. This was my first learning in a position of authority, and thereafter when I started to learn the tricks of the trade in my job, and I started to learn things more, I started having a discussion with my boss, and I wanted to take things further, but my boss was slightly tough on these matters, and he did not share the passion which I had for water conservation. So things continued, and sooner or later, as you say, ki when you think about it, when you think about things for a long time, and things start to do materialize, and that is how Manrega came in. So there is an interesting story to how Manrega came into my working. What happened was ki as an assistant skill officer, I am supposed to take inspections, do routine inspections of the tracks. And during the track inspections, one fine day, I found that there were tremendous number of people, at least I believe 200, 300 odd people were working just adjacent to the railway boundary. And it got me curious because such huge numbers just adjacent to the track was just something not seen very, very regularly. So I just went down the trolley and interacted with those people, and I just came to know that these were people who were employed through Manrega scheme. So things got into my head, and I thought,
आप जिस
why
व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं उसने आपकी कॉल को होल्ड पर रखा है। कृपया लाइन पर बने।
where am I audible? Yeah, okay.
You are audible, but this
audible.
caller is disturbing the
Okay, sir.
things.
So मिलिंद सर वो देख लीजिएगा प्लीज काइंडली
Yes,
सर.
yes, yes.
So as I was saying, these 200, 300 odd people caught my attention. I interacted with them, and then realized ki, there might be a way to actually bring them to the fold. And then I realized ki, yaar, I might not be the most smartest one. I've just joined railway service. There might be some kind of literature, or there might be some kind of history behind Manrega, because people might have worked on this kind of scheme. If I can think about it, many people senior to me could have thought about it. So I just started to browse through the literature pertaining to Manrega and in convergence with railways, and I was fortunate enough to find some of the literature on the railway website. And I got to know that since last many years, 2008, 2006, 2008, 2010, that time there were an interchange of 10 letters between Ministry of Rural Development and Ministry of Railways, where a list of works were finalized. And as you can see, this is the list which I'm just sharing on screen. So all in all, 6 number of works had already been identified for taking up in convergence with Indian Railways by Manrega. I will narrate these: construction and maintenance of approach road to level crossings, construction and maintenance of approach road to railway stations, developing and cleaning silted waterways, trenches and drains along the track, repairs and widening of existing railway embankments, cuttings with cleaning of vegetation growth, plantation of trees at extreme boundary of railway land at such locations where sufficient land is available, and last, protection work of existing railway embankments, cuttings, bridges. Now, by the look of it, these are very commonsensical type of works which involve which are purely unskilled in nature. No technical really input is that much required. So with these list of works, I realized ki now how do I get these works operated in my section? So slowly and steadily, I started to approach the administration, particularly the state administration and the district administration. And I just wanted to know whom to approach. So after many months of, understanding the system, I could finally narrow down to this structure, which is on your screen. So as you can see, the state council, the principal secretary and the commissioner, these are people who were way up in the hierarchy, and they used to sit in Vijayawada. And I was not really in a way connected to those. What really was my connection point was the district collector and the people below him. So as you can see, the district collector, district program coordinator is the district collector, and underneath him is the entire setup. With one of the highlighted items, as you can see on your screen, is the Mandal Parishad Development Officer. He was by far the most important person in my radar, because I realized he's the one who could get things done for me. He's an equivalent assistant scale officer in the state government. Like what we are when we are recruited through the UPSC as in assistant scale is what they are in the state government when they are recruited through the state government services. So they are parallel, they are our counterparts. So I started to interact with them, and trying to push the agenda or the envelope of convergence. Slowly and steadily, I got to know that these people, especially the state government, treated us with mild neglect, in the sense that they do understand what we wanted, but they were too busy in their agenda. So what I started was another phase of execution was the trust building exercises. What it means is basically I wanted to build the trust element between us and them. You see, matlab, it is a very it is a very common feeling among all the engineering services examination candidates or the officers is we are seen with a mild neglect, or we can say we have a lot of difference between the IAS and the state administration vis-a-vis us. We operate in a very different silo. They operate in a very different silo. There are very rare chances of interface between us and them. And that is where I wanted to build the trust, because if they trust us, then they would work with us. So these are all the photos of my trust building exercises. It took me a year actually to actually build in the trust. And what I mean by trust is basically meeting with all the state government officials at every hierarchy, sacrificing the ego part, sacrificing every kind of high-headedness, just meeting them, showing my face, telling them that I am here, and representing railways in every meeting possible: Gram Sabha, Gram Panchayat, Zilla Parishad, district program coordination meetings. Everywhere I was there. I wanted to be the face for railways, and I just wanted that every complaint which used to come to me, like simplistic kind of complaints like पानी रेलवे स्टेशन गंदा है, रेलवे स्टेशन में ये फैसिलिटी नहीं है, रेलवे स्टेशन में ये प्रॉब्लम्स है. So I just wanted to address those problems, and they were very simplistic problems, believe me. मतलब just टॉयलेट गंदा है रेलवे स्टेशन का, इसको ठीक कराने में there was no rocket science involved. It is just a matter of taking effort, and that's what I started to do. That's exactly how I approached this situation. Was I wanted the common persons and the state administration bureaucracy to trust me with any kind of job, any kind of deficit which railway had, and there was a face to it which was mine, and I started to attack every problem front on, and I started to resolve all those problems, because as an assistant scale officer in railways in that department, I was quite capable and powerful to get these things done. So what happened was ki after 1.5 years of this continuous process where trust building was going on, I met the SP, the district collector, the commissioners, everybody. People got to know me. The general public was also privy to my working and was aware about my working. So these I wanted to translate now then to actionable form, which is basically getting the Manrega funds for railways. That was the real agenda. So what happened was, after many years, as I said, of efforts, my section actually was spread across 2 districts. I was one of the districts was Prakasam district, one was Nellore district. So all in all, 10 MPDOs, Mandal Parishad Development Officer, were my section was incorporating 10 MPDOs. So I started to pursue these 10 MPDOs persistently. And finally I made a big breakthrough where one of the mpdos was somewhat uh, understandable to my cause. And as I started to voice my opinion and try to take things forward, uh, he was he agreed to whatever I wanted. And then we started to think about how to take it forward, because all these six works, how to translate it, how to get it done. So we started to think about on the lines of a pilot project, because if we wanted to make it global, we want to take it local first of all, and to make the case study of it, and then we wanted to take it off in a full scale. So he agreed to that kind of logic. And on a pilot project basis, he gave me 160 laborers for 21 days to implement all the six works in a small jurisdiction. So the screen you can see on your screen right now is basically the 160 laborers he gave me for the 21 days. Now, interestingly enough, railway working is very different from all the other departments in the country. You have trains running at 130 kmph. Slightest mistake, lives are lost. People who do not know about the tracks are really not privy to the speeds and the fraction of second it takes to lose your life. So my entire focus was getting the work done, but parallelly ensuring that nobody dies. And you see, these are unskilled, untrained, illiterate people. So what they had was a very, very callous attitude towards working. They are just there just to earn a daily wage, and the wages are not very, very exciting. So for them, it is just a job. But my job became more important in the sense that I had to ensure that they will not approach the track. They will not sit on the track. So what I did was I lined them across the track, gave them counseling sessions. Every day became a counseling session in the start, where I really made them clear that no way you would approach the track. We, as you can see on your screen, there is a safety fencing which is there. I had deputed my railway people to look after them, to make sure that they don't breach the track. And one more interesting thing which would resonate with the theme of today's topic was uh, water and gender. So you see, as you can see on the second photo beneath you, all are women practically. So that is how though I was never focused towards women, but somehow it really resonated that women were there. In fact, I remember during the entire breakup of the workforce which I had, 2 out of every 10 were men only. I would put it this way, that 8 out of 10 were women. So women played a big role in making Manrega a success. So women and gender, the topic resonates with how Manrega has also taken forward. So moving on, these are some of the photos where I scrutinized the musters of all the people who were working there. Now, the list of works which I had initially elaborated upon, 6 works. As you can see on your screen, these are some of the underpass, one of the underpass of railway. And by common sense, you can really well imagine that, see, as you can see on your road, this is the mud which has accumulated on the entry and the exit of the road underpass. And this would pose a very, very serious risk to the road user. The vehicle can skid, two-wheeler can easily skid, and this is not a desirable way to have an underpass. And as you can see on the second photo, this mud has accumulated from the bank cuts. There was adjacent to this underpass, there's a bank which has rain cuts have taken place, and the mud has slowly streamed down into the road. So what I did was, as part of the pilot project, we deputed them common sense work, removing the mud, excavating the mud and putting them on the rain cuts. Subsequent second work is cess repair. Now railway spends crores and crores of rupees just to ensure that the track doesn't sag or misalign, doesn't misalign. So all the railway tracks are mostly on the earthen banks, and these earthen banks have a tendency over the years to lose their shape because of the rain cuts, because of the weathering. So every year railway spends crores and crores of rupees just to push the earth on the top of it and remake the cess. So we in this pilot project started excavation of these pits and started to deposit that earth on the railway bank. This is one of the photos where you can see the pilot project, people have lined up jungle cutting, cess repair, everything is going in tandem. Another photo of this. I'll be showing you some video also. Just a sec. Milind sir, am I visible? Like in the sense, is the video visible? Yeah, this is the video. I think everybody can see it. This is a drone shot of all the people who are working in the territory. This video has no audio basically, but as you can see, jungle clearance, cess repair, excavation, all going in tandem. Yeah, another video I would like to show is this. This is the excavation and yeah, as you can see, this is another video where we are taking measures to excavate the mud which has flown into the road, and we are excavating that and putting them back on the rain cuts. Mostly ladies, mostly ladies. That's what I wanted to impress upon. We'll come back to the presentation. Yeah, so coming back to the presentation. So these were two of the videos of the pilot project. Now I managed to document all the challenges and the learnings of this 21-day effort, and I'll just narrate it. It's very simplistic, and I will appeal to the common sense. Is like these were involuntary, these were a voluntary and workforce whose work ethics and discipline were very different from railway working. They had to be counseled not only a great deal, but we had to give them practical demonstrations on what we wanted from them. Number two, they were illiterate and they were in large numbers. So a lot of supervision was required to make them work. And third was that they were not at all aware about safety rules. They were not about they were not aware about any railway working. So I had to counsel them repeatedly to not sit on railway tracks. They had a very good, ये सब बीड़ी पीते हैं ये लोग सब I was at a territory where sea breeze and land breeze used to be there, because my track used to be just a mere 10 kilometers away from the ocean. So beautiful sea breeze, land breeze used to take place every day. And generally railway tracks are at an elevation. So अच्छी हवा चलती है. So these people had a tendency to sit on the track and enjoy the panoramic view. बीड़ी भी फूक रहे हैं, अपना मजा ले रहे हैं. But that became a heartbeat raising issue with me, because speeds nahi pata hai railway ki 130 kmph, snap of a second and you're gone. And any kind of such mishap could have derailed the entire project. So all these challenges were documented. And then the next step of my journey was documenting it and getting it to others. Like एक MPDO agree करा, अब 10 को कराना था. एक दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर नहीं माने, दोनों को एग्री कराना था. बहुत सारे लोगों को ये challenges documents सब compile करके हम लोग लेके गए. And subsequent to that, people started to agree. Still I was getting some resistance, but that resistance was much less than what I was previously experiencing. And then I started to take these people, MPDOs, kuch MPDOs agree kare, so I started to take them on trolley inspections. Now trolley inspection is a very, very novel inspection for people who have never done it. It's basically a trolley on a track, and people can inspect the track through the trolley. So as you can see on your photos, the title of this is section awareness, basically making them aware about this section, the railway territory. So in these two photos, both the people in the white shirt are basically MPDOs of their respective jurisdictions. So I started to take them along. I then slowly and steadily, I got the support of state officials. Commissioner Manrega, ye jo aap dekh sakte hain, one person who's standing right in front of me, who's waving his hand, is the commissioner of Manrega of Andhra Pradesh. He came in. on my immediate left is the divisional commissioner again of Manrega. So all these people I started to get some kind of positive cohesiveness from these people. They started to visit sites. They wanted to understand how railway works and how their scheme can integrate with railways. And then finally I had a meeting with all the people across the spectrum. And interestingly enough, जैसे जैसे हमने सेक्शन को देखना शुरू करा, I started to realize the full potential of Manrega, where I realized कि ये 6 works, the initial 6 works were just very limited. The scope of work was tremendous, horizon was tremendous. मतलब innumerable works are there which could be taken under Manrega for railways. Railways में बहुत सारे works हैं ऐसे unskilled level के हैं which could be taken up under Manrega, and which I managed to show them during the inspections and which I modified correspondingly. So this meeting, as you can see in my chamber right in front of your screen, is basically not just to discuss the works, but to develop a new potential list of works. And those potential list of works are right now on your screen, are the 9 list of works. So initially I expanded the scope from the 6 to the 9. And I was also part of this policy development phase where मैंने ये policy बनाई है, where these 9 works are now part of the government of Andhra Pradesh. And this has been signed by the Commissioner of Manrega. And this is now the current practice in government of Andhra Pradesh. And I will narrate it. Desilting of waterways of bridges, RUBs, pipe culverts, box culverts. Number 2 is strengthening, widening of railway embankments. Number 3, trench cutting along railway boundary. Number 4, recharge structures to functioning bore wells, dried up bore wells. Number 5, desilting of open wells. Number 6, block plantation. Number 7, village parks and railway colonies. Number 8, linear plantation. Number 9, connecting roads to level crossings up to bitumen level. So as you can see, all these works have a lot of relevance in railways, and they were actually unskilled works which were being conducted by railways through their own money. I managed to convince the Manrega department to incorporate these works through their funding for railways. And this became part of a policy. Moving further, now once I had got the policy in place, now I wanted to work on how to make this policy work. And subsequent to those discussions, मनरेगा का पूरा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ आंध्र प्रदेश में जो भी वर्किंग होता है दैट इज मैनेज्ड बाय टीसीएस. बेसिकली टीसीएस हैज बीन हायर्ड टू मैनेज द वेबसाइट्स where all the monitoring of Manrega takes place. So I started working with TCS managers, the program software developers, and I integrated all the Manrega data of railways in their websites. And I will show you a live demonstration on what we have been able to accomplish. So this is the Google Chrome I'm opening. I'm showing you live on how we have been able to get this done. So we are going Google. Sir, is this visible, sir? Google screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, wonderful, sir. So I'll be typing in NREGA, Andhra Pradesh, AP for short. So the first, this NREGA AP, I will take you to the Andhra Pradesh website, which is this one, mgnregs.ap.gov.in. This is the official website of Narega for the state of Andhra Pradesh. It's taking slight time, but I want to show you because this is the most interesting feature of how we have been able to integrate the entire system in the website itself. And we don't need to go to any place, we just need to visit the site and we will get to know what is going on at every site also. So under this we go to the under the modules, we go to in the works head, and under this we go to the overall status of works. Now as you can see under the project, it's not. Sir, I'm trying my little best, but some issue. Just a sec, please. I'll refresh it. So I'm unable to open it, but if you can see under this, there is a convergence link which has been generated. I'll just show you if it is possible. Actually, if the VC is going on, I think there is some issue with this. Just under this project, we have integrated a link of convergence of Indian Railways. Show. Let it be. I am unable to show you, but under this project, there is a convergence of with Indian Railways link is there, which I just wanted to show. I'll try it again, but in the meantime, I'll just show you. So in the presentation, I was talking about how we have integrated the Manrega Indian Railway feature inside the Andhra Pradesh website, and subsequent to that, I was able to get through to the all India level, where I was able to integrate the Manrega convergence with Indian Railways across India, across the 29 states, and that is being managed by NIC. So I was able to coordinate with the NIC officials and was able to develop the website for that also. I will take you to that website now. So we'll go Google first of all. We'll go Narega NIC. So this is the first link. Yeah. So as you can see under this is the national website managed by NIC, and under the convergence link, if you go here, as you can see, this is the link we have been able to create. So this is all those efforts which we took in that at that point of time, which has resulted in the convergence scheme being implemented across all India as well as on the national and the local front. So getting back to my presentation. Yeah, so yeah, the presentation is visible. So as I said, I had been able to coordinate with both the all India level as well as the government of Andhra Pradesh people to get this both monitoring systems in place. Basically, Narega has a wonderful way of monitoring their systems. We basically integrated the Indian Railway works which were conducted under Manrega in the website, so that monitoring becomes direct. There is no like middlemen you have to speak to get the idea of what works are being taking place. All is available on website transparently. So moving further, now once we had the policy in place, the modified policy in place, in fact, and the blessings of the state and the center by way of website integration, I took it global. Now, what I wanted was getting all the the press and everybody, so that we can take it to massive levels. So this was an effort made by everybody of us, like the commissioner of Manrega, the district commissioner, me, my DN, my seniors. Everybody was there in this Bhumi Pujan inauguration ceremony, and we launched it on a very big platform. And subsequent to that, this is the most beautiful photo you can come across, how Manrega has integrated or seeped into railways. So I'll explain this photo. In this photo, as you can see, there is this big tower on your across the highway, and just underneath that highway, as you can see, there is a small pillar, white pillar, vertically erect. This is the railway boundary. Basically, on the left you have the railway track, and from the railway track up to this pillar, small pillar, you have the railway boundary. What we did was we started to begin with jungle clearance. So as you can see on your right, this jungle, which is yellow in color, dried up jungle, basically we have cut the trees and the bushes and the shrubs and deposited them at the edge of the railway boundary. These have dried up now. Number two, once this jungle was cleared, we managed to slope the land. This flat land you can see from this earthen land, you can see it has been slightly sloped, so that any kind of water which falls here directly, by natural slope goes into the pits. Number 3, the pits were dug adjacent to the railway boundary at the extreme to the boundary. Number 4, the excavated earth from the pits was deposited on the railway bank, resulting in cess repair. Number 5, I made it a point to develop sub-bank. Sub-bank basically means providing two banks on the bank so that our work can be smoothly done. Number 6, these pits were dug at the railway boundary, so the railway boundary was finally fixed. What usually happens in railways is these pillars, as you can see on your screen, vertical pillars, small pillars, these are pillars which are dug inside the railway land and just are indicative. But land being a very precious commodity and this being a very, very flimsy way of saving land, these are usually, in overnight people can, lift this, excavate this and put it in our territory and claim some part of our land. So by way of excavating the trenches, we had a permanent mark of railway. Like there is no way you can, infringe upon railway land. Number 7, these pits become water collection points. Water used to seep in and slowly result in groundwater recharge. Number 8, this accumulated water was used by the nearby farmers to irrigate their lands, which resulted in goodwill development. We had nothing against them. Like water is for everybody. So even if they are, putting pumps in these pits and pumping out that water and irrigating their fields, doesn't matter. It was a community which was gaining in all. Number 7, number 9, these pits were actually natural barriers to railway boundary access, which means that we have a very, very big problem of cattle run over. Basically, cattle or wild animals used to trespass into railway boundary, used to eat the jungle or the shrubs, and used to come on the railway track. And there are in fact a lot of cattle run over cases which take place on a daily basis. So this kind of natural barrier prevented cattle or stray animals to readily access our railway land. So this was one of the offset benefits of Manrega. And this is exactly what we did. For in the next 3 to 4 months, I managed to do 18 kilometers of such work throughout my section. So subsequent photos will show you how we have been able to achieve this kind of work. This is another photo which shows our working. Another photo. This is another photo. Another photo. Another photo. Another photo. This is actually the success of Manrega with Indian Railways. This is exactly what we wanted, and this is exactly what we got. Now this photo is quite memorable for me, and I would like to tell you why. On the 25th of June 2019, this was the day when I had 6,636 labor working across 65 work sites. This is the power of Manrega, basically the volume, and I was able to capitalize upon these volumes. So, just doing footplate. Footplate is one of the inspections in our section where we are supposed to travel on loco and to inspect our tracks. So it was a wonderful sight just to see. Though they are thousand, but they seem like lakhs of people just working across my section. So we also strengthened the system by geotagging photos. I have over 5,000 photos just geotagged. The legitimacy of Manrega was what I was focusing on. It could not be challenged. We have a latitude, we have a longitude, we have a date, and we have a timestamp. We have a photo which proves that all these people were actually working at the place which is stated on the geotag photo and working in numbers. So I will take you to the testimonials also. We have been able to make how community has benefited and how community has come about, come about and joined hand with Indian Railways. Yeah, so I'll be taking you to the testimonials of one of the persons. This was one of the testimonials. I will be taking to another short one. So these are the testimonials of all the people, Manrega labor only. I'll be getting back to my presentation now. So this ends one phase of my presentation, which is basically how we have been able to, during my first posting, I was able to work with the Narega department, influence the communities, influence the state government and everybody around me to, get this work started, modified the policy, developed the websites, integrated everything on the website, and, build a sustainable model for how Manrega can operate. Manrega by nature is spending somewhere around 60 to 65% of its funds towards water conservation activities. And that is why my trust with water conservation is there, because somehow that fund has been channelized to water conservation activities, which railways was also somehow able to utilize. So now the next posting, once I finished with the posting here, I took a transfer from the South Central Railway to Central Railway, and I was posted in Maharashtra. From Andhra, I went to Maharashtra, and I was posted as assistant, now the divisional engineer in Sholapur. So just so now I'll be talking about the second posting. Now the dynamics changes now, because I came from a poor state to a very rich state. Basically, Andhra Pradesh was a state where I realized had tremendous funds from Manrega. I remember during that time when I was posted, there was close to 11,000 crore rupees which was allocated to Manrega. However, when I went to Maharashtra, Maharashtra had mere 2,500 crore rupees being allocated under Manrega. So it's actually a rich agrarian state, where Manrega is not really something which is being, diverted. The funds are not really sufficient for Manrega. The people have their own livelihood ways. So Manrega is not seen as something to be really, catch hold of. It's difficult. But somehow we started the same process what I started there in Andhra. I started here in Maharashtra. Being the legitimacy was provided to me by my previous posting, and the all India website which I was able to develop with the NIC people, and at the all India level I was able to influence, that gave me a lot of legitimacy to attempt my efforts in Maharashtra, which bore some fruit. So these are some of the photos which I was able to take up in Sholapur division, and these are some of the works and simple works like those works which I just elaborated in Andhra, same works I could able to take place in Maharashtra also. So these are some of the photos of the works which we had undertaken. Basically, it all amounted to just cess repair, and thus the trenches which were cut were utilized for water conservation. So all these you can see. We made a water body like this also here. These are all water bodies which were able to develop. You can see the excavated earth. On the left side photo, you can see the entire earth excavation was deposited on the cess. So cess repair took place. Subsequent to that, water body was developed, and this water body was able to conserve water. Now, one of the videos, another testimonial which I was able to get hold of during my stay at Sholapur, I will just share it with you. Just a second. Sir, is the screen visible, the video?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, wonderful. So this is the efforts we have taken in Sholapur division, one of the huge ponds we developed just adjacent to the railway boundary. And you can see that adjacent to the pond itself, we have a irrigated land. So this was another testimonial of one of the farmers who benefited from our working. What he basically said was that the open pond we developed, he was able to put in gensets and pump and used to irrigate his land through that water. So I was actually posted in Sholapur division, and my section was actually split between two states, Maharashtra and Karnataka. So I was able to influence both the states and get works done in both these states. So coming back to the presentation. Now, once I was able to get works done in three states, three states, and in two tenures, the Ministry of Jal Shakti saw merit in that, and I participated in one of the one of the events which it launched was the Water Heroes event, and I was able to win that event also. And there's a certificate which was issued to me by Dr. UP Singh, who was the secretary of the Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. And subsequent to that, after these works got highlighted at the national level, I was even awarded the Minister of Railway Award from the Railway Minister for the efforts that took place in water conservation. Now, moving on, the second posting got over soon enough. And then I moved to my third posting, which was Nagpur division. I continued the same momentum because I had made inroads into the Maharashtra government. These are some of the photos which you can see on your screen. Same thoughts, same working, just galvanizing the state administration into getting these things done. You can see these photos. So finally, I move on to my last posting, which is my current posting, which is the fourth posting. I realized that I was hitting a wall in this state where funds were not sufficient enough, and sporadically funds used to be given, and a lot of less funds were there for these kind of works. So I have evolved over time, and I have tried to change my vision from water conservation to, teaching the young kids at our schools about saving water. And in that regard, in the current scenario which I am sitting in Bhusawal, there are 5 schools which I've identified, and I am teaching them in these 5 schools, where I give audio visual presentations to the students. I give them very practical ways to how to save water. And I hope that through these efforts, if I groom one young kid, he will then grow on to impact more people, and that is how the our Jal Shakti and Jal Bhagidari mission, which is the vision of the ministry itself, can translate into. And subsequent to that, I am also roped in NGOs where I am taking schools in itself as a model, and I am the release syntax tank and all that which I did in the first posting, I'm doing it here itself, where I am getting the release syntax tank and the plastic tanks which are defunct, taking them to schools, involving the kids and making them dig the pits, put in the syntax tank, put in the layers of gravel, brick bats, then sand, and put and connecting the pipes from the rooftop to these, and developing that model here itself with hands-on experience to the kids themselves, so that they become part of this mission Jal Shakti. And that is how I see India growing, training the young ones and getting them understand how important it is. And I believe that the third world war may be on water. So we need to save water on every place, everywhere we can find. And there are very, very simplistic and practical measures where we can do it. And that is how I'm trying to make my efforts. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you so much. And I leave open the floor for any kind of queries you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratham, for sharing your experience on very important topic with case studies or actual work you have done in field. Now the floor is open for all participants. If you have any doubt, any questions, kindly you ask your questions. Now floor is open for question and answer session.
Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Y.P. Singh. I have retired from Indian Railway Service of Engineers, from the same service of which Mr. Pratham Agrawal is the member. Let me first congratulate him profusely for his work, which is, of course, is a noble way. He has shown how to use Manrega in railway works. I think he can go on doing this work. Let him not bother for the bosses who prevent you from doing such social works inside the department. He can also go for tree plantation in railway areas by using Manrega. And really, it is the noble work which he has done. He needs congratulations from all sectors, all of us. One more thing which I wanted to say, of course, I would advise him to take care that while developing the water bodies by the side of the railway line, he should be careful so that the many times this bank may slide down.
Bank may slide down. Yes, sir. We have done some studies.
You have to have proper boundary wall of those water bodies. If it is not provided, then the bank, it may harm the bank. Take care of that. But all the kudos, all congratulations to you. One more thing, since National Water Commission people are here, let me. I hope the chief engineer is there. May I take 2-3 minutes, sir?
Yes, sure.
I have been working on step wells for last 6 years. And let me tell you, I have visited personally over 550 step wells or bawdis, which you call, in 14 to 15 states. And my first book on step wells of Rajasthan has been just published a week back. It is available on Amazon. The second book for rest of the India is also will also be available in next 5-6 months. I am working on it. So as far as your theme of water and gender is concerned, I think those who know the step wells, about the step wells, they will say that in fact ladies' role has been very prominent in case of step wells. They were the people whose duty, as you told in the beginning, was to fetch the water. And they used to go singing the songs and sit down at the step
So,
wells and doing their daily chores. And now there was social interchange, social communication was there among the villagers, among the ladies of the village, which has now stopped. Now the reason for it that we have all forgotten to maintain the step wells, the bawdis. In fact, many of such step wells are still functioning well, and many others can be revived without any problem. And as Mr. Pratham Agrawal has made noble use of Manrega. In fact, I have written in my book that Manrega can be used for reviving these step wells and in proper maintenance of these step wells. It can step wells can be cleaned with the labor which are employed under Manrega. They can be cleaned. They can be desilted. Most of the step wells which I have visited are in very bad shape, and many of them are under the charge of village panchayat. Some are under the local self government. So I would request the National Water Commission authorities to please take care of such step wells and get them revived. In fact, they will do a great job if these step wells are taken care of through Manrega and they are revived. Uh, Thank you very much.
Good morning, all. My name is Chandrasekhar. This is we are glad to know that railway is working towards water scarcity. And my question is, as water bodies are ecosystem service provider to the nature, so our railway is working or looking to some assessment for EIA or environmental impact assessment or socio impact assessment kind of things. And water is not limited to the human being; it is for all living being. So, our railway is ensuring the water quality in the water body for the animals. Hello, am I audible?
You are audible, but I don't know whether your question is to Pratham Agrawal or if he wants to answer that, he can answer. Otherwise, I can put in my words.
Sir, yes, my question is to railway authority, sir.
Of course, I am retired from railways. I worked as principal chief engineer and additional general manager. And
Okay.
I am, because of my passion only, I am working on step wells for last 6 years or so. Pratham Agrawal is working as deputy chief engineer. But let me tell you about this. In fact, you see, in general, railways are not working on the water bodies per se, but they are taking care of whenever there is a interaction between the water bodies and the railway track. And in all the projects we get the environment impact assessment and social impact assessment done while preparing the uh, detailed project reports for a particular project. That is always done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Any more questions, please? Yeah, any more questions? और किसी के क्वेश्चंस है? अगर नहीं है तो फिर हम लोग इसे वाइंड अप करते हैं. अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है तो एक बार पूछ लीजिए.
Thank you.
Okay. On behalf of Government of India, National Water Academy, Central Water Commission, Pune, I am giving my sincere thanks to our today's speaker, Mr. Pratham Agrawal. I also thanks to all participants who have joined this webinar session across the country. Friends, this is a very important topic, water conservation and management. Everybody should think over on the water conservation and water management and implement it, follow it, save the water, save the, and make the, as a country, as a water secure, food secure, and energy secure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.